It all started with Jorginho, a professional football player, posting about an uncomfortable experience involving his daughter, a security guard, and Chappell Roan. As it is on the internet, everyone quickly picked a side, and soon Chappell was labeled as rude, ungrateful, and even undeserving of her fame. But the more you actually look into what happened, the less clear it becomes, because we have two completely different versions of the story. Jorginho and his wife say one thing, and Chappell Roan says another. There is no clear proof, just word against word, plenty of assumptions, and a lot of people ready to pile on. This situation isn't just about the drama, in my opinion, it taps into something deeper, the idea that fame somehow makes you public property, and the reason why Chappell Roan is facing so much backlash for setting clear boundaries right in front of our eyes. So why did people turn on her so quickly? And is this really about this one interaction, or the internet forcing Chappell into being a woman they want to see? Let's get into it. Jorginho posted this to his Instagram story. I went through a very upsetting situation with my family earlier today. My wife is in Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist that she really admires or used to admire. Chappell Roan. By coincidence, they are staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. And the worst part is, she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, smiled, and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything, didn't ask for anything. What happened next was completely disproportionate. A large security guard came over to their table while they were still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, saying that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past a table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He said he would file a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. I've lived with football, public exposure, and well-known people for many years, and I understand very well what respect and boundaries are. What happened there was not that. It was just a child admiring someone. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who built all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not the child. Chappell Roan, without your fans, you would be nothing, and to the fans, she does not deserve your affection. Given Chappell's history with how she treats paparazzi and how unapologetically she demands respect, a lot of people believe the story. On top of that, not only is Jorginho famous, but the girl in question is also the daughter of Jude Law. So, as per usual, when there is feud amongst celebrities, a lot of people get involved. To clear up any confusion, because I can see a lot of people not understanding why Jorginho is calling this girl his daughter while she's actually the daughter of Jude Law. So basically, Jorginho married Catherine Harding, who is the mom of this girl, and now they are just raising her together. So yeah, technically she is Jorginho's stepdaughter, but I think it's really cute that he just calls her his daughter. Jorginho's post made a huge impact, and a lot of people started saying, oh, we made the wrong person famous, she doesn't deserve her career. Many people were talking about how she was mean to her fans in the past, which we'll get to in a minute. And under Chappell's most recent TikTok, there were comments saying things like, y'all picked the wrong person to be famous, your platform needs to be given to someone who deserves it, Chappell Roan low-key underhated, 15 minutes of fame is over, bless her heart. I hate that I never followed her because I only came here to unfollow her. Chappell responded to this situation in an Instagram story where she basically said that it wasn't her security guard who came up to this family. So here's what she had to say.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. I did not, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
And that video really split people. And someone were saying that Chappell is lying, that she's known for doing this type of stuff, and others believed her. And I have to say, I think I believe Chappell in this case for two reasons. First of all, I read this on Reddit. As someone who used to work in a hotel, whenever we knew that celebs were gonna be staying with us, there were usually conversations from within the hotel management side to assign staff from the hotel to essentially watch out for the star's comfort. Usually, this is done even without the celeb's knowledge. These staff are supposed to be somewhat invisible to the celeb, but make their experience in the hotel better overall. I was not really aware that something like this existed because I'm not yet famous and I've never worked in a hotel where celebrities would stay, but this is very believable for me that, luxurious hotel would do something like this to make sure that high-paying customers would come back to them. Another reason why I believe the Chappell's version of the story is because after seeing some of her interviews, after seeing how she interacts with paparazzi and people who genuinely bother her, I think if that happened, she would just tell us, and she would tell us why without any shame. She would just be very open that she doesn't accept disrespect. And before you go into the comments and start telling me that she posted some Instagram story where she admitted that the whole thing happened and later deleted that, or that she left a comment under Jorginho's post talking about boundaries, I hate to break this to you, but all of that was fake. I also saw some AI generated clips of Jude Law taking a stand in this situation. So just be careful what you believe, because those things never happened as of right now, as of when I'm recording. So after Chappell posted this Instagram story explaining her side of the situation, Catherine, who is Jorginho's wife and the girl's mother, also posted a video on Instagram, just basically confirming what her husband said in his Insta story. At the beginning, she says she doesn't really believe Chappell that it wasn't her security guard.
I wanted to say something because I'm getting so many messages about this now, and honestly I didn't realise it would get this crazy. A lot of people ask me what actually happened and everything else, and I know that Chappell has responded saying it wasn't it wasn't her security and that she didn't do it. So 100% this security guard was not a security guard of the hotel. That's what I can say. He looks after artists. So I don't know if it was her personal security guard, but he was with her. That is all I know. Did she send him to do it? Again, I don't know. Look, I would like to hope not, but at the same time, I think that you have a responsibility when you are a celebrity to make sure, I guess, that the people that work for you and that act on your behalf are acting on your behalf. So would he do that if he didn't have her authority to do so? I don't know. If he does, then obviously that's a big problem, because then he's representing her in a way that she doesn't want to be represented. So I think that's really important.
And here it's really word against word. So, there's no proof, there are no videos, there are no witnesses. So really, we don't know exactly what happened, who's telling the truth here. But what I noticed here is that Catherine says that she is sure that the security guard wasn't from the hotel. And I just really wonder why she thinks that, because she never specified. But again, she might be wrong, in my opinion. And then she goes on to describe this situation from her point of view.
We noticed a girl walk past with long red hair, very curly. And I said to my daughter, "Oh, do you think that's Chappell Roan?" And she looked and she said, "Oh my God, Mum, do you think it's her?" And so she said, "I'm going to go and have a look outside." And she was sat just outside in the garden area, which we were also free to go into. The door was open. And so I went back to the table to sit and eat, and my daughter walked through the door. She didn't have her phone. She didn't try to take a picture. She didn't approach her. She literally didn't do anything. She just looked at her and smiled. And she came back and she actually said to me, "Mum, I don't know if it's her." Because obviously she looks with her costumes and everything, she looks a little bit different. So my daughter said, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if it was her. I think it was her mum. It really looks like her, but I don't know. Maybe it's her sister. She said, maybe it's her sister. And I said, oh, I don't know, darling. And that was it. We continued our break. Then came the security guard who, as my husband said, had a very aggressive tone. For me, I feel like it really overstepped a boundary because he is quite an intimidating. He is very large. So for him to come over to a table with just a woman and her daughter eating breakfast to kind of like berate and scold us and say that he was going to complain and tell me that I should be teaching my daughter to be better and that she's badly educated and we should respect people's privacy and we should not harass people and all of these other things. And I did try and explain to him the situation, that she's a child and she was just very excited to see her an artist and singer that she admires, and can he not understand that was all she was doing. And I explained to him also that my husband is also very well known and that she's very used to being around people that are well known and she would never cross someone's boundaries or overstep a mark. She very much knows the limits, not to be rude or make anyone feel. She understands very well. And I tried to explain this to him and he just kept saying, well, if that's the case, then you should know better. You should know how it is. You should know how it is. So you should teach her to be better. You shouldn't allow her to be like this. And I did actually say to him at the time, I said, well, if this is the case that she doesn't even want people to look at her, she is very welcome to eat breakfast in her room because this here is a public area and I am a paying guest as well as her. So if I want to walk past someone's table and look at them, I have every right to do so. I am not approaching her. I'm not doing anything to make her feel intimidated or nothing.
What the security guard did was obviously awful because from both Catherine's and Chappell's perspective, the girl did nothing wrong, right? So what happened definitely didn't warrant this reaction from the guard. And I do have to say, I kind of feel bad for this girl because apparently this concert was like a birthday gift for her and she didn't get to enjoy it. So I do think that the girl was treated unfairly, but I don't think it means that Chappell did something wrong because she didn't send that guard. She didn't even realize that something like this happened. But I think people love to demonize Chappell because she is doing something that we are really not used to. She's setting boundaries in real time. There is this opinion that a lot of people share and that I personally completely disagree with, that if someone is famous, they kind of owe us their time and privacy. Like someone under a TikTok about this whole situation said, I think she uses rudeness as a character to play. That's my best guess. Because how can a person who wants to make art and have people buy that art be so antagonistic to the people who want to buy that art? I understand the paparazzi thing, but it's part of the job to a degree. She keeps putting herself in places and situations where she can try to be rude. Chappell is so rude is her claim to fame, and that's just yuck. But I can kind of sympathize with celebrities. And I'm going to expand on this, so just give me a minute. But I can sympathize with celebrities because by choosing this career, they're kind of giving up the right to privacy. Because it's not like after becoming famous, they can just go anywhere and spend time with their friends and family in like a public space because anyone can like come up to them and ask for a picture. And I understand that this is first and foremost annoying. I know fans don't have bad intentions. I know they just want to show their appreciation for a celebrity, but I can also imagine that if you're like on the other side, it's not only annoying, tiring, but it can be also very anxiety inducing. And I don't think that just because someone's famous, they have to put up with this, because the people we are talking about here are singers, musicians, actors, people who I believe some of them are genuine artists. Art has become so incredibly commercialized that we expect the artists themselves to be kind of products. We treat them like products that just because we made them famous and they earn money because of that, we kind of owe them. And from my point of view, they are just normal people who want to do their creative jobs, who want to share their art with people. They don't always want to be celebrities. But everyone loves to say that Chappell is like mean to fans and disrespectful to the paparazzi because this is her claim to fame. And that happened especially after this video got posted.
So I'm just trying to go to dinner and I've asked these people several times to get away from me.
Please step to the side.
Person-
Step to the side.
This person I've asked several times
Step to the side,
to
please.
go away, and they will not. They're hiding their face because they're ashamed. Because I've asked them. These are all the people that are
Can you sign
Hi,
in, Chappell?
Chappell.
completely disregarding all of my
My first time to
boundaries.
see you, Chappell. It's my
So
first time
this
to see
is
you.
then go away.
Happy to see you.
So all of you, I'm
Love you
asking
too.
you kindly to please leave me alone
Yes.
and
Yes,
stop
Yes.
following me and harassing me.
Can you just sign in,
Thank
Chappell?
you.
What are you wearing,
No,
Chappell?
I'm not gonna sign.
Not
Thank you
sign.
so
Okay,
much.
Chappell,
So
no
this
problem.
is
You
what
have your
it's like,
choice, yeah.
If you're wondering how it is.
And what are you wearing?
Thank you.
So as you can see, she was kind of leaving the car and trying to get into a restaurant, and outside the restaurant there were just paparazzi waiting for her, taking pictures of her, and there was also some guy who wanted an autograph from her, who she recorded, and a lot of people are saying that it's her fan. I don't know, maybe he is an autograph reseller, that's what I'm kind of thinking, because she says in that video that she asked him to stop following her like several times, so it makes me think that it's someone who like really cares about this autograph. And I don't know, maybe I'm just not that obsessed with anyone, because I'm genuinely not that obsessed with any celebrity that I would go and like stalk them just to get an autograph. So I don't know, maybe he is just like a crazy fan of her, or maybe he is an autograph reseller and he just wants to make some money off her autograph, you know? But after this video was posted, people absolutely hated how Chappell acted, and in the comments they were saying things like, why is she so rude? Did she just diss a fan? Like, I feel like people should just do what she is asking. Leave her alone, stop following her, stop listening to her. She does not want it. Literally, all she had to do was walk away. You chose that life when you chose fame. So what a lot of people are pointing to is that this happened during Fashion Week in Paris, and it happened outside a restaurant which is very well known to be frequented by famous people. So if she wanted to avoid this situation, she could have gone somewhere else to have dinner, or she could have just walked past them, even though they like follow her everywhere, whatever. So that's what people are kind of implying, that there are celebrities who get to enjoy their privacy, and Chappell is purposefully choosing places where she will be seen and where she will meet paparazzi and other people like this. I think Chappell is very much unfiltered, and she does unpredictable things we aren't used to, because we really haven't seen many celebrities react like this to being followed and stalked. I mean, yes, they talk about it in like interviews and stuff, but not many of them react in the moment. It's a well-known fact that disrespecting your fans is an easy way to lose your career. I mean, obviously, your fans are the reason why you're famous. If you alienate them, they aren't going to carry, aren't going to make any money. But I don't think that's what Chappell is doing. She is fighting for her right to exist in a public space as a famous person. And not a lot of people do that, if any. Like, I cannot think of anyone else right now. If you can think of any other examples, let me know in the comments. I would love to like explore this topic a little bit more. We tend to treat celebrities like kind of like puppets, that, you know, we put them out there, we gave them the fame and the money, and now they owe us everything. We get to take pictures of them wherever they go, we get to analyze their relationship drama, dissect their personal lives, we get to approach them when they are not at work. And I think this, in a way, destroys maybe not the industry, but it destroys artistry, because some real artists just cannot put up with this type of treatment. There are events like concerts, like fan meetups, conventions, where those celebrities are available for us to come up to them and talk and take a picture and get an autograph. I think when they are having some time off, they shouldn't be forced to hide from us to enjoy it, because I think that's what creates this kind of divide between famous people and like regular people who aren't famous, because we treat them so differently, because we come up to them and bother them. That's why they alienate themselves from us, and that's why they lose touch with everyday people. And obviously this is not the case with all celebrities. Obviously there are celebrities who are just full of themselves, but I think this kind of makes this divide even worse. Because to me it's like, if you have like a normal job, and by normal job I mean a job that doesn't make you famous. Let's say you're a doctor doctor, I think, is a good example. If you go to a party and you meet someone, you tell them you're a doctor, you don't want them to ask you for medical advice and just talk to you about their health, right? If you're outside of work, you want to enjoy like something else than just talking about your job. And I just don't know why with celebrities it's so much different, that we kind of expect them to be at work at all times, that wherever they are, whatever they are doing, we get to come up to them and they have to act like they do when they are at their job. When they're not, they're just having some time off. But Chappell wasn't just accused of that. She was also accused of being unprofessional while she's at work. For example, after this video. So basically what happened is that a paparazzo screamed at Chappell saying, "Shut the fuck up." And then she looked at him and shouted it back at him. And people were saying that she's disrespectful, that this is part of the job and she has to live with it. But she doesn't have to live with this type of disrespect, especially coming from paparazzi who, as we know, love to take things too far. What I think Chappell is doing is setting clear boundaries to protect herself long term, because paparazzis are basically professional stalkers. I don't know why anyone would ever defend them and say, oh, they get to be disrespectful to you because it's just part of the job. They don't get to do that. And she is protecting herself just so they don't do the unacceptable things they do to other celebrities. One situation that's kind of stuck with me ever since it happened was something that happened to Taylor Momsen. When I was younger, I was obsessed with Taylor Momsen. She, if you don't know, she is the lead singer of The Pretty Reckless, but you may know her from her role in The Pretty Little Liars. But she also played Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch when she was a child. And since Taylor has been in the industry for years, many things happened to her. There were many interactions with paparazzi that were weird. But one thing that really stuck with me was when she was 16 years old. She was on stage and she was singing, and some paparazzo just took a picture up her skirt and you could see that a tampon string was sticking out. When she was 16. To me, something like this is inexcusable, and it just shows that those people would take any picture just so they can earn money off it. The more controversial the picture, the more money they are going to make, obviously. And if you're willing to do something like this, I don't think your job deserves respect. I'm so sorry to say that. Maybe this is controversial to people. I just don't think paparazzi should exist. And there are so many more examples. Recently I saw a video of Sabrina Carpenter going to, I think, get an interview, and basically her security guards had to push paparazzi away because they really wanted to take a picture, and they were basically trying to get into Sabrina's personal space. I don't know, literally I'm so annoyed by the mere existence of paparazzi. I don't know why we all agreed that this is normal, that we pay people, I mean not we, but TMZ or whatever, pays people to basically invade someone's personal space just so they would take some pictures of them. This isn't normal to me. And then on top of that, we are telling celebrities they have to live with this because of the job they've chosen. I mean, yeah, I don't think they have to just live with this. In my opinion, this thinking may come from some type of jealousy, because obviously this industry is incredibly hard to get into, and some people might think if they managed to break through, they would just put up with anything just to keep their career, just so they could do this amazing creative thing. Others may think that if they were making as much money as celebrities, they wouldn't mind being stalked and approached all the time. And another reason why a lot of people might be thinking that, oh, this just comes with the job, the disrespect, the stalking, is something I've mentioned before, which is how commercialized art is nowadays. I think we got to a point where we kind of blurred the line between an artist and a walking ad. We forget that those aren't salespeople who go places just to promote their albums or films or whatever. They are artists, and I think their primary occupation is making art, not promoting it. Because we live in the world that we live in, They are constantly forced to act as walking ads for what they make. And maybe sometimes they just tried different tactics so that people leave them alone a little bit. What also feels incredibly unfair in this situation is the fact that Chappell was banned from performing on some festival in Rio de Janeiro by the city's mayor. We've seen so many male celebrities either get accused of very serious stuff or even be found guilty of actually having committed serious crimes, and their careers and their lives were relatively untouched by this situation. In all of that, Chappell's story seems like a nothing burger. I mean, if you try to sum it up, what happened was that some security guard, who wasn't even Chappell's security guard, told off some rich mom and her kid because in his opinion the kid did something bad. That's all that happened. And because of that, the mayor of Rio de Janeiro is banning Chappell Roan from performing in that city. Like, are we serious right now? On top of that, people are saying how rude Chappell is and that she doesn't deserve her career because she screams at paparazzi and she was maybe mean to a fan once or twice. Nobody cares about her music. Nobody cares if she's good at what she's doing. What people care about is that she comes off as a mean girl. She obviously isn't the first female celebrity this happened to. I mean, not that long ago, I think people really turned on J-Lo without any clear reason. Like, there weren't any like serious allegations against her or anything like this. People were just like, oh, she's so annoying and full of herself. And the same with like Rachel Zegler. She said a few things that people didn't agree with and everyone just started criticizing her. Like, the worst thing a female celebrity can do is just not be likable. And now Chappell is told that she doesn't deserve her career because she is mean to people. I mean, I'm not even like a huge fan of hers. I think she's incredibly talented, but I wouldn't like consider myself part of her fan base. However, I do love how much the way she acts disrupts people because I think she's incredibly feminine and at the same time she's incredibly assertive, and that's what makes people so mad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation and Chappell in general in the comments because I'm really interested to hear your takes. And while you're there, why don't you consider subscribing because I'm really trying to hit 1,000 followers and that would really help me. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.